What was the feel within camp after Shanghai? Obviously a disappointing match.
Yeah.
What was kind of taken away from that?
Yeah, clearly disappointing, no doubt about that, because we went away to win a game and collect 4 points, and we didn't. We performed quite poorly at the end of the day. So, look, we reviewed the game on last Saturday. We reviewed it, and we reviewed it really strongly, and acknowledged that we were really poor in some really key fundamental areas of the game that we'd been probably pretty good at for 4 or 5 weeks leading into that match. So that was the most disappointing part, was that we got beaten quite soundly in the contested ball area of the game, which we know gives you your best chance of playing well. So it was disappointing. But in this game you've got to move on pretty quickly. So now that we've reviewed it and identified some areas that we need to really improve on this week, it's an opportunity to go to Alice Springs and play Melbourne. And it's an Indigenous round too, which is great for our footy club, given that we've got 6 Indigenous players and 5 of them are playing in the team currently. So it's an opportunity for us to redeem ourselves against a good side.
How crucial was that bye? Did you guys need that week off?
I don't think you ever. You don't need it, but certainly it was there. We planned for it, and in the end, it's been okay. We've been able to go away and reflect on what our performance in Shanghai was like and the areas that we needed to improve on. So the player group came back on Saturday and we trained and, as I said, reviewed the game, and we're now able to move forward.
There are a few injuries before you guys went to Shanghai. Is there an update? Is everyone fit? Are there still players out?
We've still got to go through the process this week. David Swallow, Matty Rosa. There's talk around Pierce Hanley being close to selection, those sort of guys. So, but again, we won't make those decisions until after our main session Thursday. But I think David Swallow did a fair bit of work today and looked pretty good. So hopefully if he can get through training this week, he'd be a welcome addition, as would Matty Rose. And Pierce has been out a fair bit longer than those other guys. So we'd need to have a longer chat around him.
The boys have obviously just got back from Shanghai, and that was a massive journey. Is there any concern about travelling again this weekend?
No, not really. I think I stood here the week leading into our round 8 game and said that there'd been a lot of planning. Our high performance staff had put a lot of work into, what the next 3 weeks would look like following Shanghai. So we've always been prepared for the travel factor, and the boys actually pulled up really well when they got back, and we trained on Saturday and flushed out pretty well. So they've all pulled up quite good, really.
Is this the first time you guys have ever played in Alice Springs?
Yeah, I think from memory it is. So again, it's an opportunity for us to go away and play well and get the 4 points. But as I said, you really need. We wanted the game to come quicker than it has because we really needed to, redeem ourselves.
Andy, what's the mindset like when you have come back from Shanghai, 72-point loss, really disappointing? Had the bye, now you've got to travel to Alice. How do you get the boys, make sure their energy levels are really up? Like, what's the mindset when they have just had a whole week off?
No, look, the mindset's been good. Look, to the players' credit, they had to, they and we as coaches, we all had to own our performance in Shanghai, no doubt about that, because it wasn't good enough. And it was below our expectations, obviously. So our player group came back knowing that that we've got some work to do this week. So it hasn't been that difficult getting their mindset right because, they're professionals and, it's a pretty ruthless industry and we've just got to get back on the horse, so to speak. So it's been quite easy to motivate them. They're really, they're looking forward to the game. Look, we have to bring a much stronger effort in terms of contested footy and pressure, and so they're looking forward to it.
I guess with Melbourne, their season a bit topsy-turvy for their season. Is that an advantage for you guys, knowing that they're not sitting in the top 4 in the ladder at the moment?
Well, I think what the competition's highlighting to everyone is that it's so even. Adelaide were flying and then they lost a couple in a row, and then Geelong lost 3 in a row and were able to rebound against the Bulldogs on the weekend. So it's really even competition. So what our boys know is that if we can get those key areas of the game that we need to get right, then we're a massive chance to win. And every game we play each week, you're a chance to win, given how even the competition is. So our biggest challenge is to make sure that we bring the consistency that we didn't bring in Shanghai.
And has Rory fully recovered from that little hamstring problem?
At this point, he's still in rehab, so he's in rehab today. So they'll tick those boxes. So we won't know any more until we train Thursday as to whether or not he's fully recovered or not. But I think at the same time, we won't take any overdue risks if we don't have to. But we'll just see how he pulls up in the next couple of days.
Andy, you've got one of your foundation players sitting on 99 games and has been doing it for about a year and a bit now, if my memory's right. Is there any chance of playing this weekend, Trent?
He'll play, we think, again, if he gets through Thursday, he'll play at some point. But he's missed a lot of footy, so, I wouldn't expect he'd come straight back into the senior team.
He would come back neutral?
You would think so at this, yeah. I mean, we haven't had match committee, so, it's difficult to speculate. But when you've missed that much footy, usually you'd come back through the neutral given the amount of time out.
Has he played in the neutral this year yet?
Yep.
He has?
Yeah.
And then would he get injured again?
Yeah. So he's got he's had some good training under his belt now for a couple of weeks and starting to get some consistency. So if he gets through Thursday, we'll have a look at him.
Is he looking frustrated? Does he sound frustrated?
No, he's been terrific. No, he's been good. I mean, he's obviously frustrated with that his body hasn't stood up, and he's had some injuries at a critical time. When he's been building to get back into the senior team. So that's probably been frustrating for him, but to his credit, he's trained. He's trained really consistently, and he rehabbed, really diligently. So now it's just a matter of him getting some continuity back into his footy.
Andy, just with the Indigenous round, can you just explain your background as, I guess, Aboriginal Australian?
Yeah. So my grandmother, who's passed away now, but it's her side of the family that's Indigenous, and. So I think for a while there, I was, up until about 5 or 6 years ago, I was I think the only Indigenous coach in the AFL at the time. But luckily we've got another couple now that have joined the ranks. So I think Roger Hayden at Fremantle and Xavier Clark at Richmond are the other two. So I'm really proud of the fact that I've been able to be in the industry for as long as I have and obviously represent our culture. So. Yeah.
You just mentioned there's only a handful. Do you think the AFL does enough to support Indigenous coaches?
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously the AFL, they would like more Indigenous coaches in the AFL. And again, I think they've been incredibly supportive of me and of course the other two boys, and the programs that they run. I think are terrific. So, hopefully in the future, it's an individual thing. Whether you're Indigenous or non-Indigenous, as to whether or not you want to pursue a career in coaching. So, but the support levels there, and I think we'll continue to invest more time and resources into upskilling and educating young Indigenous coaches all over the country, because it's obviously a great career move. And we know that some of the greatest players ever to play have been Indigenous players. So the amount of IP and knowledge of the game that they possess, it'd be incredible for them to come into the coaching ranks, pass it on to the younger generation. So hopefully there's more.
You mentioned there are about 5 or 6 players that are Indigenous. Are they looking forward to the round? It is a great recognition. Yeah,
they are, no doubt. Our boys, Jared Harbrow's obviously been terrific in that space for us for a long time now. The 7 years that we've been in the competition. So. He's been really good with our younger Indigenous boys, and they're all obviously incredibly proud of their heritage and of the fact that they represent the Gold Coast Suns. So they're really looking forward to playing. It's a really special round on the calendar. So it's an opportunity for us to, first and foremost we've got to win the game, and that's what we're there for. But to be able to do it and represent our culture and our club is a great opportunity.
Do you think it's an important tradition that we do have the Indigenous round?
Yeah, of course, no doubt. I think it's important to celebrate all of the multicultural aspects of the game, including Indigenous. And there's been an enormous amount of support for the women's league as well. I just think it's obviously groundbreaking, and as a code, the AFL have done it brilliantly.
Is that the Indigenous All-Stars game? Has that been canned? You were the last coach of that.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. So I'm not sure of what the status of the game is at this point. I think there's plans for it to be played again sometime in the future. But it certainly won't be played. My understanding is it won't be played every year like it used to be. But it's still obviously an important part of the Indigenous round. So.